Hello and welcome to the program. I am glad you found time to join me today. I am going to talk about quitting. There are so many nurses now who feel like it's enough and they want to quit nursing. I understand. Indeed, during the pandemic, you've had to deal with so many patients and you have lost so many of your patients. It has brought emotional fatigue. There is compassionate fatigue. There is boredom and all these things that come in. I understand that you want to quit. There are so many, from the research that I have seen, there are so many nurses who want to quit their profession. They feel like it is enough. And indeed, some have already quit. They have tendered their resignation and said it is enough. In the previous video that I spoke of the reasons why these nurses are quitting. And we realized that one, boredom was one of the reasons why they are quitting. But what is it that can be done? What can you do if you feel like you are bored in the nursing, in the field that you are having? Maybe you are a bedside nurse who has been handling these patients and working with them for so long. What can you do? Consider changing from bedside nursing. There are so many opportunities that you can look at if you don't want to be a bedside nurse. You can consider being a travel nurse. Maybe exposure out there, traveling from one point to another, will be a breath of fresh air for you. Consider that. Another thing you may need to consider is, instead of being like in a hospital, you can be working like in an aesthetic environment, either an aesthetic spa, in which case you'll be handling clients who are not necessarily as sick as you have been having them. You can also be a teacher. You can consider, depending on your credentials or your training, you can be a lecturer in institutions, in universities or in colleges, in which case then you don't have to be in the clinical area. You can also be a researcher. There are so many nurses who are nurse researchers. You can consider that as one of the things that you can do to change from your current situation. That is about boredom. Consider all these options that you are having. Some nurses feel like they have reached the end due to poor remuneration. Maybe you are being underpaid for the so much work you are doing. Some of you are not even able to take a break, even a 10 minutes or even 5 minutes break. You are not able to take this break. Working even often with a full bladder, you have not even taken anything. Lunch hour, by the time you look up, it is around 4 p.m. and you have all the documentation for you to do. I understand. I have been there and I understand it. What you need to do, if that is the situation where you're working for so long and you have not had any break, yet you are having a poor remuneration, you may need to talk to your employer, renegotiate your salary. If you feel like you are being underpaid, renegotiate. And if they are not able to raise your salary, consider applying elsewhere in other institutions. It might shock you that there are institutions that are willing to pay you a higher pay than what you are earning at your present area of employment. So consider this. You can check, and you get that you are negotiating better terms. Another thing that you may need to do is change. You can specialize. You might find that you are practicing as a general nurse. If you are practicing as a general nurse, you may earn less than what your specialty colleagues are getting. So in this case, what you need to do is consider specialization. There are so many specialties, there are so many areas of specialization that you need to consider. One, you can be like a critical care nurse. You can be a perioperative nurse working with patients in the operating room. You can be an oncology nurse working with patients that are having cancer or cancer-related conditions. You can't be a stomach nurse taking care of patients that are having stomas. There are so many wound care nurse taking care of patients that with various wounds. So you can consider specialization. Now, the other thing that you need to consider, other than specialization, is you might even consider quitting altogether. If you feel like you've gone through all these things and none of them is working for you, consider quitting. But before you quit, have a plan about your finances, about your accommodation. What else do you need to do? You can even quit nursing and check if you can do e-commerce. There are so many opportunities nowadays on the online space. One, you can be a virtual assistant. You can do e-commerce. There are so many things that you can do if you feel like it's, you've had it with the nursing. Another thing you can do is even changing managers. Sometimes you are working with managers who are not even understanding your plight. In this case, you can consider changing the managers to another one. And it's possible to have better managers who are understanding you and who are going to give you better shifts. Maybe you have been working night duty and you are so tired. Maybe you, like for me, if I'm working on night duty, my appetite goes, you are disorientated, you are waking up when everybody is having fun, you are sleeping. So if you realize that it's the night duty that is giving you problems, you can talk to your nurse manager or supervisor who can change the shift for you from night to day. And this way, then you might find that you are even enjoying it better. So these are some of the things. It's not an exhaustive list. So if you are a nurse and you are considering quitting, these are some of the things that you can do. Write in the comments below, have you considered quitting nursing? And if so, what is your reason for quitting? Or did you consider quitting and stop? If so, what is it that made you to stop or to quit? Please comment below, and see you in the next video. If you are new here, subscribe and share with your friends. Hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I produce a next video. So see you in the next one.